Systems lead to success. Today I'm going to give you 7 drivers that can lead to systematic growth. You know, after being in the business now for over 28 years, there are certain people that I've seen come into the business and do extremely well when the business is doing well, and then they fade away when the market gets a little more challenging. We're at a place where we're going to see some of those things happening now, and I don't want that to happen to you. So what I want to do today is I want to talk to you about the people that I've watched consistently grow their business over time in different market cycles. It doesn't really matter what the market cycle is. When you have the right systems in place, your business has the ability to continue to grow no matter what the market does. Can we all agree that there will be people in the most challenging years that will have their best year ever? Why not you? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to put those systems in place, and I'm going to talk about that. But let's start with the most important thing, and the foundation of having a real estate business that's growing is you need to have a consistent amount of leads coming into your business every single day. What is it that you can do to generate these leads? Now, there are a number of different things that we can do, but you have to have some systems in place. Me personally, I'd like to see you have between 3 and 5 different lead sources, because here's what's happened in the past. If you've got one great lead source and that lead source begins to dry up, then you're left out and you've got to really start back from scratch. But if you've got 3 to 5 of those lead sources that are consistently giving you leads, there will be times when certain lead sources will generate more than others, and there'll be certain ones that will fade out and you'll have to bring a new one in. We want to have some balance in our business. Now, let's talk about some of these lead sources, because this is typically where we are. Obviously, we've got online leads. You can purchase leads. That is an easy way just to have reps get those things, but you have to remember that's a 1 to 2% turnover rate as far as what you're going to be able to convert to actually having some closings from those leads. So it's a great source. It's a consistent way to have leads coming in. But we really want to focus on some more detailed ways to maybe find some people that are further along and maybe down the sales funnel, so to speak, closer to buying or getting ready to sell. Let's talk about some of those lead sources. Number 1, open houses. We have not seen open houses do as well as we're seeing right now in the past that I've seen in the last 25 years. The reason being is that houses that are open now gives us the ability really to be toes to toes, nose to nose with those potential buyers, as well as the nosy neighbors that are around that are probably curious about how this house compares to theirs, kind of gauging what their value is, maybe thinking about selling in the near future or in the coming 6 to 12 months. Great way to get some leads coming in is by consistently having open houses, finding opportunities to host these open houses. Another great way is circle prospecting, picking up the phone and having phone conversations where you're just simply adding value. Ending those calls with, hey, I'd love to keep in touch. If email is okay, I'd love to do so that way, and putting them into some consistent follow-up we're going to talk about in just a minute. Whatever it is that you're doing, open houses, buying online leads, whether it's working with some referral sources like an Op City or HomeAway, some of these different types of programs that are out there where you don't have to pay for the leads up front, but you have a steady flow of leads coming in. If you're going to have a business that is continuing to grow, you're going to have a continuing growing database of new and fresh leads coming in. The second driver in having a continuing growing business is to have personalized conversations with the leads as they're coming in. Basically, this is the qualifying stage. Whether they come in online, whether you have an initial meeting in an open house where it's just a, hi, how are you? And then you want to follow up later on. Whether this is something where you've got leads coming in from whatever source they are, you have to have that personalized conversation to see how you can help them. So the second step is really just to make sure, and this can be done through ISAs, the people that will make the calls for you, or this can be done by yourself. Ultimately, though, it's going to come down to that people are going to do business with people. Yes, we need to have systems in place, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute for automated follow-up. But we definitely need to have that initial conversation to understand what it is that their goals are and how we can help meet those goals. Without having conversations, you don't get any conversion. The third step is a systematic follow-up plan that is automated to make sure that you stay top of mind with all those folks that have leads that have come in, the ones that you've personally qualified, that you're going to be building a relationship with now. A couple of things that can be automated are setting them up to receive information about properties like the one they own that they're considering selling in the future, or properties that might meet the criteria they discussed with you when you qualified them that may be coming on the market or that maybe have a price reduction. Getting some systems in place where it automates the follow-up with properties that are coming on the market really starts the process. Also, you should have a system in place that cues you to let you know when to follow up with those folks. Is it a 3-month? Is it a 6-month? Is it a 9-month? Is it an annual? Whatever it is, depending on the qualifications and how serious they are, might even be a weekly or a daily if they're really hot. Whatever it is, have a systematic plan that automatically follows up with them with details about properties and keeps you queued up so that you keep them top of mind. The next step in having consistent growth is to have a next 10 list. Now I'm just going to share this with you. This is something that I utilize because sometimes it's hard to be something unless you see something. So what I did is I kept a top 10 list or next 10 list of my next 10 probable buyers, and I wanted to have their name, I wanted to have the price range they were in, I wanted to have the commission that it would possibly generate, and the last time that I spoke with them, because I want to keep that, I wanted to have it right on my wall. I had my 10 most likely next buyers. I had my 10 most likely listings, and then I had a list of 10 of the biggest referral sources that I had, people that were for me, people that had sent me referrals in the past, people that I know if the opportunity comes that I would do that. I kept this on my wall right in front of me because I wanted to have the consistency of following up with those most important people, those people that were hot, potentially ready to buy or sell in the next 3 to 6 to 9 months right in front of me so that nothing fell through the crack. One of the most disappointing things we can have happen is we'll see someone that we talked to 6 months ago and said, yeah, they're going to buy in 6 months. I'm going to keep in touch with them. Or we see somebody that says they're going to list their house in 9 months, and then we see it 3 months later pop up on there as an active listing when we had it in our mind that we were probably going to get that listing. Consistently following up with those people, keeping it in front of us. For me, when I had the date there that I wanted to do, and I had it on a whiteboard where I could change it, when I had that date right in front of me where I knew when the last contact was, I wanted to make sure I stayed in touch with those people at least once every 2 weeks, some of them every single day depending on how hot they were. But by having this visually right in front of you, it's going to keep you focused on the most important people and the next sales you'll have. And when you do that, I promise, you're going to consistently see your business grow. Number 5 is sphere of influence systems to keep in touch with those folks. This is literally, as we know, when we move from being a salesperson to having a real estate business, it's because we tipped over, so to speak. We hit that tipping point, so to speak, where all of a sudden referrals and also our sphere of influence begins to send us those referrals that we need to have consistent growth. So what is it that you're doing on a systematic basis to keep in touch with all those people in your sphere of influence? Every single one of them should be in your database receiving your newsletter that goes out either weekly or monthly or whatever it is for you. They should be receiving value from you. They should be people that you've gone and you've actually systematically made sure that you're that you're connected with them on social media. If you're on social media and you see something going on in their lives, make a comment. Stay top of mind with them, whatever that is. We've got agents that I work with that literally that's part of their daily routine. They wake first thing in the morning, they go through their social media and they make comments on every single person that is in their sphere of influence. They try to make at least 10 to 20 of these each and every morning. Keeps them top of mind, keeps them engaged with that sphere of influence. Also, I would encourage you, sometimes maybe it's time to dial back on buying leads and start buying lunch the way Heidi Harris does up in Raleigh, North Carolina. Find the time to spend some time with those relationships that will feed your business, because when you go out and you spend time with those relationships, I promise you're going to get more back than you'll ever put in. Right up there with sphere of influence is your past clients. Now this is a whole other level because these are people that have already done business with you. They understand who you are. They've probably had a good situation. You know, the statistics tell us that buyers say that they would work with the person that sold them their house to list their home over 90% of the time, but it doesn't always happen that way because people forget to follow up. This is a group that is almost our VIP list. This is people that we're going to want to send opportunities to. Maybe it's something where you send a Starbucks gift card to your last 100 sales. Maybe a $5 gift card costs you $500 total. I promise you, just by saying thank you, you stay top of mind and you continue to have opportunities not only to do business with them and repeat business, but to generate referrals. What is it you're doing? Maybe it's once a year you do something special for that group, whether it be having a client appreciation event. Maybe it's you do something where you're having a specific time period around Christmas or whatever where you make a donation to a local charity in honor of each of these individuals. Whatever it is, when you make people feel special, I promise that law of reciprocity kicks in and they're going to want to do something to help your business and you out as well. These past clients are critically important. I don't know of a single top producer that doesn't have a systematic plan of action in place to make sure that their past clients know how much they're appreciated, and that continues to consistently drive their business up. The seventh driver that will help you have consistent growth is really a mindset. It is persistence. Now, I want to speak to a couple of different groups of people right here. I want to speak to the top producer that's had their best years ever over the last couple of years. And maybe you're saying, well, this market's a little challenging right now. I'm going to just kind of coast right here. You've got momentum in your business like you've never had before. If you coast now, you will never have the opportunity to build the momentum you have again right now. Now, I'm not telling you to work yourself to the bones. What I'm telling you to do is to be consistent and persistent, understanding that this market will change. And when it does, if you're persistent and you continue to add value to the marketplace, not only will you see continued momentum now, but this will really show up when those others that have maybe not been in the business as long and they'll be out of the business, you'll gain more market share now through your persistence in a time when it might be easier to coast than you ever have an opportunity in the rest of the rest of your career. Now I want to speak to those folks that maybe have been in the business for just a few years, you've had some success, and now you're like, whoa, wait a minute, this business is totally different. Have the persistence to understand that what got you the success in the past is not going to get you the success that's coming into the future. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to become more knowledgeable. You're going to have to become more professional. You're going to have to do more work than you've done in the past. But I'll promise you, you have built some momentum. Stay focused. Continue to add value. Be flexible enough to change. Be humble enough to get coaching. Go out and continue to be persistent in this business. And I promise you're in the business that will reward you for that persistence. Now let me speak to those people that got into the business and maybe this is brand new to you and it's very difficult. Listen, I don't know of a single top producer that didn't get into this business and face resistance at some point and they pushed through it and they were persistent enough to overcome that. Now listen, if you're at a place where you don't have finances to continue to support your family, maybe it's that it's not now, maybe it's not a no that you shouldn't be in this business, maybe it's just a not now. But for those of you that have positioned yourself to be able to do what it takes to be in this business, be persistent. I'll promise you, hard work right now is going to be rewarded because there's going to be a lot of people that it's going to get a little harder and they're going to quit. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to face a little bit of resistance that they've never faced before and they're going to back off. Now is the time for you, if you're focused and you truly know that this is the business you're supposed to be in, be persistent with adding value into the business. When you put systems in place, you're persistent and you continue to add value to the marketplace, this business, I promise, will reward you. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.